myself muted. Hold on. I'm sorry, I had myself muted apparently. I'm Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am so glad to see you guys tonight. I have such a fantastic show with my friend Barry Littleton. He is in the studio with me tonight, you guys. He gave me another blind target. Actually, I got 2 targets from him. Turns out these 2 targets are related. I went into both of them twice. So we have 4 targets to discuss tonight. And it all revolves around UFOs landing in a schoolyard in Zimbabwe and the children seeing it and interacting with the ETs that came out of these craft. It is going to be fantastic, y'all. My data was out of this world. I'm going to be giving you a complete overview of everything that's in my data tonight. If you would like to go along with my data, and see the actual raw remote viewing data, you are welcome to join my Patreon channel. That's the Cryptid Huntress over on Patreon. And I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. It really means the world to me. I have all of that data posted there. It's in the picture section actually this time. So y'all go scroll through all those. I put a bunch of pictures on there today, and y'all can see all the targets. There's 4. There are 4. Okay. Also, if you would like to follow along with all the shows that I have, and I have 2 live shows on this channel, one on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, one on Thursdays at 8 p.m., which is right now, right here now, live and direct here. And I also have shows every Saturday and Sunday night on Spaced Out Radio. That's 10 p.m. Eastern. Y'all come join me this weekend. It's going to be a blast. Okay. But all that information is right there on my website. Y'all go send me a message. If anybody would like to get in touch with me, that's the best place to reach me right there. All right. And also, if you'd like to help support what I'm doing too, you can also go shop at my Etsy store. That's War Woman Goods. And I sell vintage Native American turquoise jewelry and stuff. I've had that shop for quite a while. So thank you for all your support, y'all. It means the world to me. Now, I have one last thing, and this is the fun one. I am doing a giveaway, and I want for everybody watching this show right now to go over to my Instagram page. That's at the Cryptid Huntress, and go sign up. All you got to do to enter this contest is to win a free camouflage watch. It's nothing special too much. I mean, it's special to me. I have one. I bought 2. I wanted to give the other one away to one of my viewers. It's a camo watch. I wear these things into the woods when I'm out researching. And so all you have to do is go to my Instagram page, find the post with me holding up my watch, and tag 3 friends and like the post. That's all you got to do. Or share it out if you want, whatever. But definitely like it and tag 3 of your friends. I'm going to put you guys into a drawing. We're going to draw the winner next Thursday night here on this show. Okay, so you got plenty of time to tag people and get your name in that pot. Okay, we will do the drawing then. Let me see. I think I have a picture of that watch here. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I do. And like I said yesterday, why go buy a watch at your local truck stop when you can get this one for me, y'all? I mean, that's just like low fashion, man. That's like the way to go. Okay. I'm just telling you, it's durable and, it's like the Polex of camo watches, y'all. But I love it. It's my favorite. Okay. It's my favorite watch. I wear this thing every day. And I hope that whoever wins it will love it as much as I love mine. Okay. And we'll be twinning as well. Twins. Okay. All right, y'all. Okay, so without further ado, I do have my friend Barry Littleton here with me tonight, and he did give me this amazing target, and so Barry is a super amazing researcher of all things paranormal. He's an ET contactee, and he gives presentations all over the world. Okay, on his ET contact, near-death experiences, life after death. You name it, Barry covers it. Cryptids too. He is here in the studio. Help me welcome to the show tonight, my friend, Barry Littleton.
Oh, hey, what's up? What's going on? What's happening? Popped up.
Hey, Barry.
Or something. Hey, what's going on, Jessica? Good to see you. Hello to your entire audience. I said I was going to remember everybody's name, but I can't. But I appreciate everybody, and I'm glad to be here. And I think that right now things have been very stressful I've been seeing, so many things happening. Like they've happened to me. They've happened to a lot of people. It's these like cluster attacks going on right now. And I think there's a sign that some of this information is not supposed to come forward. People don't, individuals like dark forces don't want this stuff coming forward. So there's so much negative going on in these communities right now that are called ufology and New Age. And it's a drag. So I thought that, part of this target was it's something positive and it was intended that way. And, right now, you and I just came from a conference, which is increasingly becoming a long time ago, over a month ago. It's hard to believe that. Yeah. But, we interacted with a lot of targeted individuals.
We did.
Individuals that claim to be targeted. Yeah. And, I've met a few before, but not to the level that I got to meet this time. And I wondered why I was summoned to that conference and what my purpose for being there was. And I know now, it's certain parts of the puzzles were plugged in there that I needed that confirmed what I was told in my own experiences and also what I've been studying for years about that. Although I've not had negative encounters or been a targeted individual, I have sympathy for those that do, and I don't doubt their stories. It's not my place to do that. So I think bringing that enlightenment to that and bringing that together is important. So thanks for doing the target is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my gosh, of course. It was a long way around. A big old thank you. And you are so welcome, Barry. Thank you for giving me these targets. Because I mean, was I on target or was I on target on this one, Barry?
No, I say the same thing each time. It sounds corny, but it's the only way I can describe it. You knocked it out of the ballpark. It's like that old movie, The Natural. I know you don't watch movies, but there's a movie called The Natural with what's his name? Gosh.
I don't know. I don't know movies.
Robert Redford, The Natural, but he's supposed to be the best in baseball, and he knocked it out of the ballpark, made this big fireworks, and he ran through it. It was all dramatic. You did that. You really killed it. You nailed it.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, thank you. Far, every target I've given you, you've nailed all of them, but this one, it was really good, I thought.
Well, it's because I'm doing more and more, and the more remote viewing targets you do, the better you get at it. Okay, and I've been doing this for a long time, and you're also tasking me these targets. You're wording them just right to get the information out. So you're actually a big part of this as well, Barry. Is by assigning me these targets and tasking them to me. You have to have them worded just right to get that information out of me. Okay, and it's not coming out of me; it's coming out of the matrix. I'm just a channel for it. Okay. But you're a huge part of that, and without you tasking a good target, I wouldn't be able to get all this information. Yeah. But so kudos.
It blows me away each time. Each time it's kind of like when I do hypnosis session. No matter how many of them I've done, whether they be regressions or past life regressions or contact regressions, I'm blown away every single time. It's like I feel brand new. You know what I mean? I think that's I think that's part of the wonderment that it takes for us to kind of get into the kingdom. There's that old saying from the religion that says you have to be as of children to get back into the kingdom of heaven. I think maybe that's what it means, that wonderment and that excitement that you get when you experience not just the paranormal, but the spiritual, the Kundalini, It's cool.
Yes. This kind of is reminding me a little bit because and I think that maybe we'll touch on this after we're done talking about the target tonight, is another target that you and I did together I had some similarities here with the messages that were coming through, like the orbs over crop circles and the message that they had for humanity. Okay. And this is something very similar that my data was picking up on, is there was some destruction headed towards our world, to the earth. And there was someone trying to relay a message, possibly aliens, to humans.
Trying to avert it.
Yes. But our governments knew about. Okay, I'm already giving the target away. Okay, I'm giving away my data.
Hold that thought. Now I'm getting excited. We got to calm down. Okay, I got to calm down. Look, we're getting excited because when you say that, the orbs, remember that after you've done your reveal and everything, there's specific reasons I chose this target. And that's an important part there. So we'll revisit that. I'll trust you to remember.
Okay. Well, let's all coming together. Well, all this stuff is coming together. Yeah, Barry, it's all coming together. You know, yesterday I had a fantastic guest. I had Nick Sylvester on my channel, on my show, and he is with the Truther movement, and he's also with a spiritual movement as well. You know, you and I both do work in the spiritual community as well, and so it's kind of combining our forces here. You know, and I had Daryl on with the Secret Space Program last week, and it's interesting that I'm bringing we're kind of bridging the divide between these different communities right now, and really digging into some of these mysteries, and we're all able to help each other. And so I think that's a really great way to go. Okay. Is just working together on some of this stuff. So yeah, let's get into these targets, man. Let's get into this target. Okay. So Barry, so I want to tell the audience, Barry had sent me a couple of targets. It was just this week, I think on Monday or something. And I was like, man, it's time for us to do some more targets. You already had 2 ready to go. And you didn't tell me if they were related or not. I just got 4 sets of numbers. Okay. 4 sets. So one set of 2 and another set of 2. And I just went in and did my thing with my coordinate remote viewing, is what we call it. And I started picking up immediately on the first target. I felt like I was in outer space. Okay. Actually, yeah, I started off in outer space, and by the end of the target, I was in the ocean. Okay. I felt like I was in the ocean. And when you asked me what you thought this target was, I said, here's what I said. I wrote you back. I said, I felt like it was a space vibe. Then I went to see, I think it's an octopus. That's what I told you. I think it's an octopus. What is the significance of an octopus, Barry?
Well, you know, it's oddly enough, it's coming up right now so much, how much the octopi might not be native to Earth. So much so that they created that TV show called Resident Alien on Sci-Fi Channel. And he's supposed to be some type of octopus being that came here that's related to the ones here. He's communicating with the one in the tank and all this different stuff. But, you know, when dealing with that and how much that's been coming up, I had actually a client, somebody you know, coincidentally, but they had done a regression, all right, and it was I slid in during the session contact regression too. I knew they were a contactee. And when it deals with the type of contact they're having, so often the people I regress, it's not the stuff we hear in the media at all. And the beings aren't like me, and stuff I didn't experience was like that either. But they're dealing with one of these as some type of an octopus type of being. It's a humanoid, but the head has octopus type of features. And, you know, I've heard that before on Earth Files. So these things keep coming up, but, you know, it's the mainstream doesn't always address it. But we've got thousands of galaxies and, you know, millions of planets. So let's get real.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Barry. Okay. So as Brown Dwarf says, trip out, right? Trip out on this. So a part of my data, I love that. Trip out, Barry. Part of my data, and shout out to Brown Dwarf if you're in here. I don't know. I haven't scrolled through the chat all the way yet. I picked up on Ursula and the Little Mermaid in this target, which was really weird. So I actually wrote down Ursula. So I was seeing like a humanoid octopus looking person. Okay. Like that's literally what I was seeing in this target. Okay. And, but that was part of what I wrote down. But I also, okay, so I'm going to show you guys like what I had for my drawing. It looks like a triangular craft, which is weird. Now I wrote down vessel because we don't like to label things. We'll label things like in the AOL when we're doing the analytic overlay. And but I picked up on Star Maker, which made me think of our friend Tony Rodriguez, Star Maker. And you guys go get his book. I think it's called the Star Maker or Star Maker Project or something like that.
Yeah, Star Maker, Star Project.
Y'all go. Yeah, I'm plugging Tony tonight. Love him. Yes. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely picked up on a craft. I wrote down craft, like a spacecraft. And I wrote down something that looks like a triangular craft. That was my first target. And that's when I told you that I felt like I was in space and I went into the ocean. I was picking up on Ursula. Okay. And being kind of like that. But I did pick up that there was some kind of being there. Okay. And it was alive. Because you did later ask me, was it a living target? And I said, well, yeah, I picked up animal twice on the second time I went in and did this target again. I picked up on animal twice. And Yeah. Okay, so I went back in. Let me see, what else did I write down for that second one? The second one, I was picking up on like flat Earth and stuff, y'all. Just so you know. And I actually drew what looks like a flat Earth.
Yeah, the flat Earth. Come on, Jones. What are you doing?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. Or maybe it's just the Earth cut in half, and that's just the middle of it. I don't know if y'all can see that.
I'm just teasing you. Keep going.
How dare you question my data, Barry? I'm just kidding. Okay, so I know we're having fun here. Great show. Thank you, Wendy. I see that comment. Thank you. Okay, so this was the second time I went into the first target. I picked up on compass, linear, horizontal. I've seen something horizontal, grid patterns, extraterrestrials, space travel, something that's in slow motion. I picked up on a Bone Thugs and Harmony song. We're not going to go there. Okay. I picked up on the best laid out plans, intelligence, psyop, and a cover up. Okay. So I got into like the little 3-letter agency type of stuff on this target. Okay. Where it's a psyop and there's been another government cover up. Okay. Whatever this was. But I also picked up on sucking up the resources. Okay. So I was picking up on draining and packing and something that was very destructive. And I was picking up on something that's sucking up all the resources. It's draining. There are shipments coming in and out. Something cubic. I actually picked up on Stanley Kubrick. Okay. So isn't he the one that allegedly filmed the Apollo 11 moon landing? Okay. And that's another touchy subject right there. But then I picked up on Shiva, the goddess Shiva. And who is Shiva? The goddess of destruction, right? So I picked up on that. And then I picked up on Barry's favorite term, CERN. I picked up on CERN. And then I picked up on AI, minds, in a power field. Okay. Now that was in my AOL, y'all. So that's my mind trying to make sense of what my sensory data was. So I like telling you guys my AOL because a lot of times the AOL is actually the target when I remote view. So I know it kind of goes against some of the rules of remote viewing, but that's my AOL. And I think it does line up with what the target is, actually. So Barry, tell me and tell the audience exactly what the first target was, please.
The first target was the Zimbabwe children, the school children incident, but more to the point, narrowing it, the organization that was behind targeting these children. Okay? The information that was communicated with these type of beings that they encountered was all the same. Control, look after the planet, love each other, these type of things. It was a very positive message, but it was directed towards, saving the earth. And my question has always been, who is it? What organization did that initiation with these children? Who was behind that? What is the organization that targeted them? This is a positive thing. And that takes us into this book, and we'll get into this more later, which is Preston Dennett's book, Schoolyard Encounters, in which he goes over 40 cases that are landings with humanoids in schoolyards. Okay, and there's another 56 that are just aerial sightings near schools. That's important. So we'll go into more of that later because that's going further. But that was the main thing I wanted to know. The organization. What did you see? And later I could say why I chose this if you'd like. But it ties in. The reason would be because I psychically looked at this years ago after this happened, and I don't remote view, but I can see. So I wanted to see what I saw when I looked at it. Okay. And then later on, I hear Ed Dames, and he was my introduction to remote viewing. When he first came forward, he was talking about a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they remote viewed that incident also. And what they saw, they didn't see these gray aliens or a craft. They saw these orbs around these children, and these children's in a trance. And as you go further now, looking at some of these Zimbabwe children that are now like in their 40s, that was a long time ago. I communicate with one of them, Lisa Fields, And she was the light-skinned girl on there that was saying what she saw out there. She did the drawing. She communicates with me every now and again. And but you know, she's got grandkids, so they're not young people anymore. But you know, as time has went on, some of them remember now more there being orbs around them, as opposed to there being these gray type of extraterrestrials. They're being orbs. So I was just so that was the whole thing, was to get down to the organization and the positive contact experience. That's not emphasized enough. You know, and I sympathize with those people that have these negative encounters. It definitely happens. Okay, a lot of negativity out there. This SSP thing and all that stuff going on. The slavery. I'm acknowledging that. All right, but there are far more of us that have positive contact experiences that never get exposed, and this is one of them. And that's why we're kind of going there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't pick up on anything negative about this other than the kids got scared. Okay. Because the kids something was, I mean, listen, and I didn't know there were a bunch of kids here at first. Okay. But there was destruction. Okay. The only negative thing that I got, okay, I know the kids got scared. It was actually, the worst part was the destruction that was potentially headed to Earth. That was in my data, y'all. And something was trying to convey to Earthlings, to people on Earth, that there was this destruction coming our way. Okay. And that was my data. And that's going to come up in my second target. Go ahead.
Tying this in real quick to another target. When you, excuse me, when you did the blind target of the dwarf planets in the trans-Neptunian objects, and remember you had on the data on there, target, and you couldn't understand what it meant. But I told you it was Earth. They're talking about an exploding bomb, a time bomb. You had target and time bomb.
Ticking time bomb.
You had time bomb on there several times.
Ticking time bomb.
It's Earth.
Yeah.
And you're just saying that right there. And, you know, so this is what this is all about. So I'll shut up now. Please keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. I'm going to put this up here. Oh, interesting, Donna. She said, heard it's supposed to hit near Australia, a comet or meteor. Whoa, Lord. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's hope not. Y'all. Okay. So I went into the second target. Okay. So what I told you about the first target, that something, it was a living target, but, and I thought it had to do some kind of being or an animal, right? Okay. Okay, do you want me to just give you an overview instead of going down all my sensory data and stuff? I'm just going to give you the overview, because when you texted me and said, after I sent you the data, you said, "What do you think this is?" And I'm going to read you guys exactly what I wrote Barry on my text message. Okay, I wrote Barry, something destructive headed our way that governments are aware of, but deceiving the masses in its truth. There's a well laid out plan to take all of the resources from something with depleted levels of oxygen. Not sure it's connected to the other target, but space connection. There's a space connection. I picked up on Nibiru. I don't know how you pronounce that. Nibiru, coming close to Earth and it having an effect on things happening here. That was all in my remote viewing data. Okay. And then, okay, so that's it. So that's what I told you when I wrote. And then, you had me go back in and look again on that one, because that was all, I got a bunch of data for that one. Went back in and you said, "What do you think that was?" And I said, "Something that will be landing on Earth, alien contact with humans," is what I wrote you back. Ta-da. And it turned out to be, what exactly was the second target?
It was, okay, the 40 cases in here, I'd say more than half of them are very positive and similar message given. Okay. Similar to, who is it that is going over the UFO missiles and deactivating those things? Who was doing that? Who was it sending that message? What organization was sending that message? You know what I mean? This is very, 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 very specific things that are being done. What organization is it that has this type of a plasma technology that hits things that can look like UFOs or laser beams, but some type of a plasma technology? And when I say that, I encourage people to look at that meteor a few years ago that hit in Russia. There's like all sorts of footage of that. But when that thing is coming in, you see something hit it. They try to say that maybe it was two of them collided as they're coming in. No, it's some sort of a weapon that was used to minimize the damage that thing caused. Okay? Who was behind that?
Ooh.
And who was behind, especially the ones that with these school organizations, the best way to communicate with the population is through the children. And it's a shame that kids get targeted so much on this planet because they're the key to the future. And what organization was doing this? So that was a little bit more broad in that way, but it was the connection to possibly the Zimbabwe one too, because it's not the only one, but it's more of a massive thing going on. So how many organizations or organization was involved in this? Now I'll be quiet because this is where you started. I didn't tell you this stuff though. See what I mean? You didn't know any of this.
No, I had a set of numbers. That's all I had. That's how remote viewing works.
I have to deal with what she said later on. That's why I had to respond for a minute. I was like, oh no.
Okay.
Because it comes a lot that Barry has to eat crow. I eat a little bit crow again. God.
Hey, everybody has to eat crow occasionally. It happens to the best of them and the best of us. I've had to do it myself. But yeah. So you asked me after it was all said and done and I'd given you my synopsis of what I thought it was. You actually said, now who was behind all of this? Like who? And I didn't go back and remote view it, but immediately the minute you said that, I heard Galactic Federation in my head. So I heard it. I heard it loud and clear, Galactic Federation. And I told you that, and you were like, oh gosh, what? So yeah. Why are you surprised about that?
Look, okay, this is why I eat a little bit of crow, okay? Since beginning as a contactee forever, this lifetime, and somebody that's been reading this stuff intensely since the 80s, okay, occasionally that name started coming up when looking for names of organizations that were dealing with contactees. This Galactic Federation came up several times. And okay, for me, look, I gotta say it, contactee or not, it sounds a lot like it's a Star Trek ripoff of the Federation, and it just sounds like a crock to me, okay? And then when I see the pictures of it, like on Sheldon Needle's deal or whatever, you see all these perfect Caucasian cats that were Hercules and Fabio, they're all this shit with the hearts, and it was just corny as heck. So I couldn't, so I always kind of clowned it a little, that name, all right? And then when I finally I'm 36 years old, I'm out walking, and I finally get the name for the organization I'm dealing with. It was even more corny than the Galactic Federation. So I don't laugh at that one anymore. The Extragalactic Interdimensional Cooperative Alliance, that sounds corny as heck. I remember stopping just in the middle of stalking. Forget the telepathy. When they hit me that telepathically, I said verbally, are you kidding me? Am I supposed to tell people that name? I'm going to get laughed at harder than the people that say the Federation. So but we've got so many different organizations dealing with Earth and humanity, so many different galaxies. It's not just a few. It's not just the Greys, the reptilians. You've got hundreds and hundreds, thousands of species coming here in physically, astrally, energetically, in the dreamscape. All sorts of stuff is going on here. So, okay, sorry. So go ahead. Go back to the Galactic Federation. I ate my crow. That is what it is. But the reality of it and the thousands of people that say they deal with the Galactic Federation, that just puts light to it. And who is the beings behind this? And the different types of beings. You're picking up different types. Octopus beings. And it's pretty exciting, I think. And I think it's another form of first contact that we're not acknowledging. And it should be. So two more things before I shut up. I encourage everyone to get this book. It's not very expensive. Preston Dennett's book, Schoolyard Encounters. And the other thing, he's got a YouTube channel. At first I had these cases. I was going to talk about this one and that one, but I'm not. Go to his YouTube channel. He's got Schoolyard Part 1 and 2 on there. He talks about a bunch of the cases. Not all 100 and something of them, but at least a good probably 30 of them or so, 20 of them. Check him out. So instead of me just repeating what he says, go to his work. He's a cool cat. I've talked to him a couple times. Nice guy.
Wow.
And his first book of UFO healings, he's got another one, UFO healings. I don't have that one in here, but there's two of them. The first one especially changed my life. That was 1996. Nobody was talking about the type of encounters I'd had. I could hear all about people taking anal probes and yada, yada, stuff I wasn't experiencing. And he was the first person to talk about healings. And what I saw had a healing nature to it. I've seen people being healed on a craft. I've seen a few things. So it's important, I think.
Wow. Well, I think
that type of light they use that heals, it looks like silk.
Ooh, silky, smooth light.
Devices, it looks like a silk type of light. Nice. It's got some sort of a consistency to it. And that's something I'll bring up too on this, all right? In Preston's other encounters, not the Zimbabwe one, but often when the ones that aren't always humanoids, but these ships getting very close to playgrounds, I know everybody's looking, they're leaving large amounts of what's called angel hair on the playground, and it dissolves very quickly. I've done a video over angel hair that I never put out, angel hair and chemtrails that I'll put out tomorrow. Whoa. And dealing with, I didn't put it out because in the chemtrails, there's been something called cryptosporidium. And I try to put pictures at the beginning and end of my videos, and I forgot to put that one in. I just made it. But everything else is on there. And the phenomenal coccyx is all in there and all that. Yeah. But the stuff in the chemtrails. And anyway, angel hair is something else addressed in that video. And I believe what the angel hair is in this case is a part of the conversion process that when these UFOs, USOs, and you talked about water, USOs, essentially, when they're actually using the water, they're pulling orgone life energy from the water and using that converting that into the power life process to life energy.
Oh my gosh!
So that's something there, and that angel hair is often a byproduct of that, and so that shows then those are positive ships leaving that trail there, and that kind of ties into why you might have been picking up so much ocean and sea. And again, we're dealing with some type of amphibious, extraterrestrial, interdimensional species as part of this. Gotta say it.
Galactic Federation.
Okay, this is.
It could be. I mean, I feel like the second target that I did got way more in detail with this stuff, and I was picking up on a lot of AI data, artificial intelligence type stuff, and AI generated stuff, and I was seeing a whole lot of what looked like two suns. I picked up on two suns in the sky, okay, and I actually drew a picture of it, of like two suns. They were kind of rotating around each other, kind of. It was really odd, but I was definitely picking up on Nibiru and coming close to Earth. Now, isn't it time for Nibiru to come close to Earth again? I mean, I think I remember reading something about that.
I'm personally not a big believer in Nibiru because the gravitational perturbance of our solar system isn't showing that. But when you look at trans-Neptunian objects and the possibility this could be some type of a Legion ship or some type of a craft, changes things. It could be anything. So anything is possible. You know what I mean? And what you're seeing there, but you're seeing something actually coming to Earth, it sounded like to me, which is different. That's showing a trajectory.
Well, and I also picked up collision course again. I picked up collision course again on this target, like I had picked up on that last target with the dwarf planets. Okay, so collision course. It's a recurring message.
What your audience thinks about that?
I don't know. What do y'all think? Anybody have any comments on that? It seems as though whatever came down to talk to all those children at all these different times, they're warning the children. The children are taking the messages in. They're here to talk to the children. The children are who are going to be taking care of our planet. Okay. They're going to be here longer than any of us, because they're young. They're going to be longer than us. So
tying this into another target again, let's bring it all together.
Okay. Bring it all together, Barry.
I'm reaching. No,
let's
seriously.
Do it. You ain't reaching.
The fact that Ed Dames and them saw these orbs, these plasma orbs around these kids and them kind of entranced, that takes us to another target I gave you when we first started doing this, which was the plasma balls that made that crop circle. and we're making crop circles. And you got a message that came with that whole thing, with the positive crop circles. You got a whole thing that came. I'll let you talk about that. But I think it ties in, and we're dealing with the same organization again, the same system, I guess we could call it.
Right. I think so. Thank you, Area 51. That is so sweet of you. The GOA, the greatest of all time team. Thank you, Juan. That is awesome. Nice. Thank you so much. Nice. We appreciate that. Nice. Hey, we do make a good team, Barry. I'm just saying. I think we make a darn good team.
I really enjoy working with you. You're fun to work with.
Thank you.
And something I really appreciate about you is the entire time I've worked with you, I have never heard you ever badmouth anybody or slam anybody. I mean, only one time, but we both had to, but that was different. That was only one time. And all the time I've worked, I've never, ever heard you say bad things about anybody. I really respect that.
I didn't say anything bad about that person either.
And you get, well, that person kind of sucked. We won't go into that. We'll start laughing and giggling. Let's stop. Okay. But that way I really respect that. And it makes it really a joy to work with you. And I enjoy it and it's fun. And
thank you.
You've uncovered a lot of good things and good information on these targets. I think it's very valid. And if nothing else, it's even more than food for thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure working with you too, Barry. You're pretty awesome yourself.
Thank you.
You have so much knowledge, man.
By some mosquitoes.
Not mosquitoes again. Oh Lord.
It's that time of year. But anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I wanted to make sure I didn't. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't forget anything too on these.
Hey, you want to talk about the plasma balls and the crop circle thing?
Sure, we can. Well, I just wanted to touch on the last page of the second target that I did. No, it's okay. There's just I just wanted to tell the audience that it did have, my sensory data was pulling, something was very bright. There's something that's hidden. There's something to do with an awakening and a shift. Okay. And so what I was actually feeling and picking up in this is this target has something to do with the earth shifting, because I was picking up on this other earth stuff and this outer space and things going on with the earth and things coming here that could be destructive. But I was picking up on, there's some kind of gravitational pull going on, and a dimensional shift is happening, or it's about to happen. A dimensional shift is happening, and it is causing an awakening. And that was all in my data. I kept hearing awaken and awakening. And so I wrote that down. So it's almost like the Great Awakening, right? Like it's just like this whole awakening that humanity is experiencing right now. And I think those little ETs were here to help those children, usher them into whatever this awakening is, to give them a leg up, so to speak, on whatever is headed our way. And I think it's part of the dimensional shift that we're about to go through, or we already have gone through it, Barry. Who's to say we're not already in it right now?
The earth is going through the polar shift, and right now consciousness is elevating here. It's trying to, and it's because, I've always been a firm believer that this is strictly a prison planet. But,
somebody in the chat said that. Yeah.
The work I've been doing now with past lives, I mean, I have to, and I've done a bunch of them now, so I have to face that it appears to not be that way. I have yet to encounter one soul going through this that says, hey, the light's making me go over there. Hey, my guides are making me incarnate over here. Or, hey, I have to do this because of this. There's none of that. There is a choice. And they're describing it very detailed. It's a choice. And when it happens and I have that one, the person says, I'm being forced to do this and this. I'm trapped in reincarnation cycle, yada, yada. I'll tell you, I promise. I'll tell everybody. But I've not encountered it yet. And I thought I would, and I have not. So that says that not everything I know concerning this, but we know there is a trap going on here. There's a frequency you come through. Okay. Wipes you clean a little on the soul level. Have to be careful of that. And it's more than just us having to forget everything, because there's forces down here trying to stop this place from evolving into this dimensional shift you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Those individuals I deal with say that they were from extragalactic. I always focused on that. But the interdimensional thing, I always wanted to make that less. When really, you're multidimensional beings too. That's important, because this is a conscious thing going on. A lot of these cryptids are conscious too.
Absolutely.
On the conscious level, we're experiencing it. It's really a trip.
Yeah, my guest yesterday, Nick Sylvester, he really got into the fact that a lot of our research and things that are going on in our communities, like it is people just spin their wheels because of ego, and that's where the spiritual community is going to have to hop in and say, hey, let's work on our getting rid of this ego, okay, and like just being open to things, okay, because let me tell you, there's a lot of ego in this cryptid community. I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's a ufology's even worse.
There's a lot.
I'm gonna say this straight up. People aren't gonna like it, all right? People aren't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it straight up. Over 90% of the people you see in the ufology community are full of BS. Whoa. Straight up.
You heard that here at the Cryptid Huntress.
Yes, and I'll say it straight up. Hey, sue me, okay? I don't care if it discredits me or not, but I'm telling you, I've interacted with a lot of these people. A lot of them are full of it. And you've got so many people right now that are trying to relay what's happening to them and understand. And this shift going on, there's no more time for BS. We're out of time.
Wow. Well, I actually picked up on some of that about like we're on, hold on, what was that data that I had? Hold on, I'll tell you. We're on course, we're on track, and we're on time. I kept hearing that. Those were some of the quotes that I heard during these targets, by the way. I do want to add this because this is the very last target I did, or the very last, the second time I went into the second target. Okay, this is the last target. I just want everybody to know that during this target, I did pick up on a lot of government type phrases like leaked footage, leaked documents, classified documents, FOIA, FOIA. That's like a Freedom of Information Act. Something about being inquisitive and somebody like I was feeling like super concerned about whatever's going on, and I kept hearing ask questions, ask them questions. And then when I picked up on somebody talking to me, I did a deep mind probe and I said, ask them what, and they said where it will land. Okay, and then I heard thank you, and then I shut the target down. Okay, so I don't know what kind of significance that has, Barry. People in the audience might know. Just go with your gut with that. That was the last bit of my data that I picked up on. I asked them what, and they said where it will land. Okay, so what's going on with that? Or it could have just been the spaceships those kids were seeing too. That could be it, but depends on how you read the data. What?
I'll just read that comment there.
Oh.
That guy's name was Antonio Villas Boas. I do believe it was a Boas Villas was the guy's name. And he had these hair that was DNA testing showed it was Nordic people, some strange Nordic hair. That was about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
He said that they used to come and basically have sex with them all the time. I think it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's where I guess I fall short. In all my experiences, I had no sexual connotation to any of them. I guess I'm boring.
You're just boring. I mean, be thankful. Okay.
As far as what you're saying, though, I think that all that it does tie in as far as what's being released now. But as people's awareness of this stuff is increasing. And the amount of contact is increasing too. You've got so many people, like I guarantee this, half of your audience here is probably contactees, and of various types. But that's what's happening, this whole shift. That's how it's taking place. It's pretty exciting.
Wow. We're absolutely experiencing a shift. And God knows there are certain beings on this planet that are like trying to stop it or something. I don't know. There's so much weird stuff going on right now. Okay. Even in my life, everywhere. It's the ascension, I guess, Barry. Is that what it is? We have an ascension going on right now. Yeah.
I hope it's not the descension.
Oh God. Well, maybe there are some.
It feels that way sometimes.
Some that are descending and some that are ascending.
This place is in trouble, man. It really is. You got maniacs that run this planet trying to destroy the biosphere. We're on a timeline of nuclear war, all these things. And right now, all these things, like something's coming here and all these negative things. And I've been very aware since a very young age. I've been hearing the same thing. We're going to get hit by a meteor. We're going to get tore up in fire and all these different scenarios that are always negative outcome. revelation type of
Okay.
outcome, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
And like, well, there's a time like where when I was younger, especially, I saw different timelines. One of them I saw was about probably about 15 major cities on this planet. You have these Legion ships that appeared for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And just their vibration alone nullifies some type of fear to a degree. And I saw that several times. And now I believe that that timeline has been averted by whatever these factions are. By now we're hearing all the time, oh, they're going to do this fake alien invasion. You hear that all the time. So that's a good way right there to avert this whole thing that I just described, the timeline I saw as a kid. I don't think we'll hit that one now. When really first contact happens, it makes people wake up. Instead, we're getting it as it is now. It's much more subtle through social media. But hey, it is what it is.
So I should quit saying, hey, it's a fake alien invasion.
No, they might be trying to pull that off, but it ruins that timeline I spoke of. You know what I mean? I'm not doubting it.
So what you're saying is like we need to think in terms of shifting the timeline to the highest timeline for the betterment of humanity, the highest good of humanity. And wow.
What did the orbs tell you, Jessica?
The orbs? The orbs.
The crop circle orbs.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of orbs and things, let me just pull this comment up. Silver Moon says a craft crashed in Italy not long ago. Okay, maybe was that today or I don't know when, but that's interesting. So a craft has crashed. Yeah, and there's been a whole lot of talk in the news, or I don't know about the news. I don't watch the news, but on YouTube and a lot of my friends that have channels in regards to UFOs, they've been talking about crash retrieval teams and things like that, that with the military and stuff. That's kind of a big topic right now.
You know,
UFO crash retrieval.
That really looks into that. Go back and really look at what Clifford Stone and Robert Dean were talking about. To me, they seem to be the two pioneers of the whistleblowers. To me, and I think they're both dead. Clifford died recently, but
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to pull some of these comments up here. Could possibly, I can't say your name, but BS Crazy Alien Enjoyer. I love that name. That's a crazy name. I love it. Could possibly be two timelines collapsing into one. Yes. I think it's funny because some of the names that I pull up, I'm like, well, I guess I have to say it. You know, I'm trying not to say cuss words. I try, y'all. I try. But yeah. It could be.
You know, that name is that's funny actually. It's better than having the name The Flash. I just saw that movie. It was terrible. Boy.
Oh, the new one? Is there a new one?
Well, I'm going to give you a small joke on that, all right? Okay, so check it out. Okay. I made a mistake. I went to see this movie, and I went by myself, and there was nobody there. It's 10 o'clock, and my friend had given me this gummy. I ate this gummy. That was a mistake.
Oh,
so I'm sitting in there half drowsy, about to fall asleep. And, you know, the Flash's real name is Barry. And and more than that, he's interacting with himself on another timeline, running with himself. So every time they're not blowing some crap up or running fast, I'm kind of dozing off a little bit, you know? And all of a sudden Barry, wake up! And you know, it happened about a dozen times. I swear, it was quite interesting. I look around. There's like nobody in the theater but this guy and his kid way over there. Nobody in there. When I was leaving, the guy looked at me. He said, "Man, this movie was terrible." I said, "Yeah, it was. It's horrible."
It's really terrible because you kept screaming every time they say your name.
Every time I say it, Barry, wake up for God's sake! I'd be, you know. It's like somebody was right there on me, you know. Anyway, sorry. Let's go back to the topic. Just a little fun. That's all.
Amy, thank you for that super chat. That's so sweet of you. I hope you're feeling better. I'm sending you lots of healing energies tonight, and thank you. Yeah, that's hilarious. But you absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to go watch that. Don't worry. I don't watch any movies. Yeah, I don't.
It's terrible.
I don't. But okay, so we're gonna talk about the orbs. Okay, the orbs over the crop circles, and I had remote viewed that with you like well over a year ago. Okay, and it's been a while, and I was remote viewing something that was very pure and from source. Okay, because I think I was remote viewing the original orbs that make crop circles, the one that was in a video that you sent. Or something, a video. And we showed it on the show that night. And I was picking up on something that was originally from source, and it was pure, and it was sending out messages to humanity. And then I picked up on another one that had been corrupted, and it was used for bad, basically, or if you want to call it bad, but it was like a corrupted original orb that makes crop circles, but it had gotten in the hands of the wrong people, per se, I guess you could say, and it was not putting out good messages for humanity. But I did pick up at the very end of that target, I picked up on a message to humanity. And that message was, because I'm clairaudient and I hear things when I'm remote viewing. And I heard, we know you're tired. We know you don't want to be here anymore. It's not easy. Okay. And we know you don't want to be here anymore, but don't give up. And it was, we are here with you and we're here to help. And thank you for your teamwork. That's exactly what the message was. And as I said it that night on the show, I started getting super duper hot and I got sweaty, and my energy just was like really flowing that night. And and I just thought it was important to get that message out to our audience, because I think a lot of us are tired. We're worn out. We're exhausted. We're fighting against darkness every day, and it just gets darker and darker the lighter you get. And the more you're out there and shining your light, the more the darkness wants to dim your light and wants to take you out and shut you up. And that's not what we can't do that right now. We have to keep going.
In person, separately, I had talked to both Linda Moulton Howe and Patty Greer about crop circles, and they spend a lot of time, both of them spend a lot of time in it. And it's interesting when they would describe going in one of these crop circles that was a negative one and the way it would make them feel. The negative feeling, the sickness and all that. That's, that's quite interesting. And it doesn't, surprise that some things are distorted like that. And when I had talked to John Vavinko about his remote viewing of those circles, he had said, and the portals that these orbs come through, he would said that several times on the other side, it was, like I've said this before, thousands of entities trying to squeeze through this portal all at once. And that's like you and me both trying to get our head through a ketchup bottle, but those that actually do squeeze through, when they emerge to whatever scientific reason, natural reason, they emerge in this third dimension as collective consciousness and these orb forms. Yeah. And that explains that some of them might be negative. He was saying that some of the ones that are negative in the portals got negative entities trying to squeeze through and on that vibration. And we know that these portals or Mako on Earth, a lot of them are unstable.
Yeah.
So they're moving around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot going on right now. So it's just, it's a matter of us becoming the best version of ourselves that we can be, so that we're able to, to make it through all the craziness we're going through right now, and what the world's going through, and to be authentic. Okay. And to be the best version that you can be. In the army, just kidding.
I agree with that statement. You just took off. I agree with that statement.
There you go, be in the army too.
It's a shame that there's not more entities that can access that, because and there's no way around. That's why I'm so adamant about those people say, "Oh, don't go in the light when you die. It's just a reincarnation cycle." Yeah. They don't know. They can't see half of them. They're lying if they say they can. Half of them, they're not mediums. Secondly, they've not dealt with any population of earthbound spirits, really. Cross them over, and really what they do, what's the earthbounds tell you? The ones that are attached to people, they'll describe the whole thing. What the darkness they're in, how they can't see. And then every time when you start talking about love, the light, love, and especially the word, oh my God, I'm gonna say it, the word God, whatever your perception of that is, you say that word along with love, and then they start seeing the light. Why is that? When they couldn't, and they might have been, I've crossed over some that have been down here, Jessica, hundreds and hundreds of years, walking around. They're still talking using euphemism that are not even, and when you got a client starts talking like that, it's a trip. They start talking like somebody from like 1500s or something. Whoa, what? And it's odd inflections and stuff.
With an accent?
But as earthbounds, they're not nearly aware of that passage of time. They're still talking about, I got to get back to my family, get back to my family. This was hundreds of years ago. What? That's trap. That's darkness. So those that are putting down the light, when they go into the light, that doesn't happen anymore. They leave, and sometimes they come back, or loved ones come for them and help them, but they've changed. They've changed in that light. So that's not BS. That's fact. So I get very discouraged when I hear people say, "Don't go to the light. Don't do it," because it's creating a lot more work for people like me.
Yeah.
And creating earthbound spirits, and that's one of the layers. If we're having a change in dimensional deal here, that's one layer that has to be freed. Is this earthbound layer? Whoa. And then the demonic comes is lower than that. We've got all these wonderful layers here on this planet. Anyway,
Well, how do we do that? Is there something that we can do as just regular everyday humans out here? Can we do something to help?
Well, I tried watching the movie Oh God with George Burns. He seemed to tell everybody what to do.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did it help?
I forget. You don't watch movies.
I don't know what that is.
You never get that joke. Forget it. Seriously,
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Besides pray. Yeah, no, don't do it. Forget it. Somebody's gonna boo me off your show for that joke alone. So anyway,
I don't know what that. I don't know what you're referring to. So it's okay.
It's just a movie where God was played by George Burns.
Oh, anyway, I remember that movie. Okay, that's from the 80s. Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. I used to. Anyway, what I would recommend is, besides just begging and pleading with Creator and whatever light, whatever love there is to save this place, I think really what you're doing and trying to really pass positivity and raise the vibration of this place. Like simple stuff. It's so easy to make somebody smile once a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's a person giving you that hamburger at McDonald's or whatever, the impact, people often ask me, what did I experience when I died? I'll tell you this much, whatever I know and wherever I was at, I thought I was spiritually, I still underestimated the impact that our relationships have on each other. That's what goes to the other side. Big time.
Ooh.
It's all that goes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, hey, I think maybe we can start bridging the spiritual community with the cryptid community next, right? So we can.
Why not?
Why not?
Audience, your audience is cool, and the audience that follows you around, they're different. Like, I was nervous because the Bigfoot community, they're like brutal to each other. I mean, they're hitting each other harder than they are those trees.
That's right.
Man.
That's right. I'm just down here keeping my head down, trying to work. You know what I mean? So
what's up, Aussie Sue?
I'm putting out the good stuff. Hey, Sue.
I agree.
That's right. Ego is humanity's worst enemy. That's right.
Yes.
That is.
Yes.
And it's also the community's worst enemy as well.
And that's the problem with the community, is you've got these ones that are absolutely obsessed with fame. They've been bit by the fame bug. And Aussie Sue, you're living in a land where there's somebody really bad about that there, and they're misleading people and giving people horrible, horrible advice. How can you help someone when you're not a guru when you're dealing with demons? Come on. Anyway, but yeah, that's a major problem, and I hope that that's what we're seeing now is us moving beyond that, humanity itself, and something that is more of a federation type of thing.
Galactic Federation kind of thing. Oh my gosh. We have a great question from Ariel from Juan. I'm sorry, my computer's lagging just a little tiny bit now. We've had a lot of comments tonight. I love it. People who encounter UFOs usually get sick. He wonders if the kids ever got sick. Do you know, Barry? If the kids
actually, that's not common. People seeing UFOs and being sick is not that common, because I experienced something on the craft that's called temporal aphasia when I was on board craft each time, and that's slightly different. So the amount of people that actually get sick upon seeing UFOs is not that large, and those that do, it tends to be some type of a radiation sickness. But to my knowledge, I don't recall any of them saying they got sick, but they were scared really bad. But
they were absolutely well. I think it's the crash retreat. Okay, so I've been. Well, we've been hearing a lot about the crash retrieval crews for UFO crashes, and those guys are getting sick, and that may be also what Juan's referring to too, is the crash retrieval crews getting sick and getting headaches, and like from what I was told,
Well, I
they
didn't know
started
about
wearing
that.
helmets. Like there's a special helmet that they wear now when they go do crash retrievals to keep them from
Now,
getting
I
sick and
know
headaches
Clifford
and
Clifford had talked
problems.
about getting the amount of stress that they would take from the emotions of the visitors, because their emotions aren't like ours and somewhat cyborg sometimes, but their emotions were overwhelming. I remember him saying that, and the sickness coming with that. So he's probably right. Yeah, I'm not an expert on that one.
Yeah,
See,
I don't
thank you. It's
know.
only because it's in cyberspace. It makes it cooler. In person, you'd be disappointed.
That's not true. I've met you in person, and I know, and I've hung out with you at least twice, two different occasions for like an extended period in person,
It was a
and
pleasure too.
you're
It was a
pretty
pleasure.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
always fun. We have a good time. Yeah, the fake alien invasion. So you're saying we shouldn't talk about the fake alien invasion anymore? What about all these
No,
drones and all this
I
AI?
didn't know. I wasn't saying that exactly. I was just saying that I
Okay,
think that they're using that to maybe mess up a good timeline. That's all. Yeah.
okay. And hey, Jorgen, I see you in there. Thank you for being here. Um, yes, I'm trying to see if there's any questions before we go tonight. Yeah, when did the Zimbabwe? I thought so. The Zimbabwe incident happened. I thought it happened in 1994, right? Was there another
1994.
one,
Yeah.
Barry?
The
94. Okay,
1960s incident
Amy, it was
was in a
94.
place called Westall, Australia, Melbourne. That was in the 60s. That
Oh,
was a
okay.
big deal.
Oh, very.
Experience that happened there.
I
Yeah.
figured you'd know. Okay, yeah, I figured you'd know.
Westall,
Let's see. I'm seeing if we
Westall
have
in
any more
Australia,
questions in
Melbourne.
here, and I know I am so behind on comments as usual. So
I didn't look at it either.
I'm trying to get down.
By the way, Amy, I've looked for emails. I never saw one from you. I don't know if
Okay.
it got lost in spam.
Yeah.
Send me another
All
one
right.
if I didn't respond.
I
Definitely.
don't know. My comments are still going. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. My computer froze, everybody. My computer totally froze. Oh my gosh, I have so many more. I'm just gonna hop down to the end. So if I missed anybody's comments, I'm so sorry. People ask some questions. Yeah, Silvermoon
They
says,
went so
"Don't
fast.
leave."
They
People
go so
ask
fast.
questions,
You
y'all.
can't.
I know it's so hard to keep up. It really is. Don't okay. I'm not leaving it. If anybody has any questions, you guys put them up here, and I'll get to them. Because
I was
we
hoping
would love to answer them if you guys have them.
this would go over all right because it's not cryptids, and people say, "Oh no, we don't want to talk about things that are, space related or contact related." You never know, but seems like it went over all right.
Well, I like to switch it up. Well, listen, we've been talking about Dogman so much lately. I can only talk about so much Dogman, y'all. I love Dogman and Bigfoot, but and a lot of people are super interested in the Dogman stuff. I do like it. We talked about Dogman breeding programs yesterday, Barry. That was a
okay. I watched.
show.
I watched that show. That's where the gentleman's talking about. He has a whistleblower that talked about how many of them are caged and killed each year and all that. That was interesting.
Yes.
It's so terrible, it's so dark,
right?
and all that, but it was interesting, very interesting.
Well, like we were talking about how they have bounties and things like that.
As he was talking, and you two were talking, something came to my mind that I kind of had forgotten, and it deals with kind of like these werewolf soldier things. In that movie I've mentioned several times because it traumatized me, the Dr. Pepper Band, American Werewolf in London. About midway through that movie, he had a dream. He was hanging out with his family, and these soldiers came in and shot up his family. They're like these Nazi werewolf things. Do you remember that? Did you even see that movie, maybe, Jessica?
I remember. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Well, that's what we were talking about yesterday, about how since the 1950s, when they started these breeding programs with the Sasquatch and the Dogmen and the werewolves, they started using Dogmen and werewolves, especially in all of the wars ever since, including the Vietnam War, where they were sending them down into the holes in the ground, like the caverns and the caves and things. And they were doing some massive damage with a lot of carnage and stuff. And so, we discussed that.
Your guest said something else that caught my attention. he mentioned some
What's
of these
that?
dog creatures living underneath the St. Louis Arch. I thought that was interesting.
Oh,
That must
yeah.
be something that's talked about with the homeless around there. Definitely, then.
Well, the homeless
very,
are being
very
targeted. The homeless people are being targeted. Like they're, from what I understand,
direct energy weapons.
Yeah, interesting, right? It's really sad.
And when you think about it, you have the prison population and the homeless population that would be targeted first with all these things that are auditorial weapons that are scalar weapons and things that are frequency weapons. Yeah, long range acoustical weapons. These are all things that are going to be tested on the homeless first and the prison populations. But I think also you've got a population being tested that is the psychic contactee population. They tag a lot of us for reincarnate here. Then they start inundating you with these frequencies and the negative encounters, and it becomes a narrative that takes over your life. Very real. That's technologically induced. They've got these computer brain interfaces now that are out of control. Brain networks. That stuff needs to be looked at. Real neuralistic programming. That stuff's real.
Oh yeah, it is. And we got Javier in the chat tonight. Hey Javier, with Cryptid 559, could it be frequencies making people sick? I think so. With the UFOs and things like that, frequencies can always make people sick. Even with the infrasound that cryptids put off too. That's a frequency, I believe. So. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here, Javier. I think that's Javier, or maybe your cousin. I think it's Javier, though. But yeah. Okay, well, I have more comments. Let me check these real quick before we go tonight. Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool you're doing that. I think that's important. The audience is really important.
Yeah, what to look at that. Yes, the audience says they're being done. Homeless man that ate another's face. Good gosh, that's horrible. There was a rash of that going on down in Florida a while back with that bath salt stuff. So, but that's really sad. Was that like a dog man or something that did that, Donna? That sounds terrible. It's Javier. I see you, Javier. Thank you. Javier's not the one that ate a face, by the way. I just saw Javier put his name up, y'all. Okay. I don't know. I just hear that the homeless populations are being targeted by some of these dogmen, and the dogmen are, and potentially werewolves too. But the dogmen are coming into these cities, into the inner cities. They're creeping into the suburbs. They're being spotted. They're being hunted down in the suburbs. I did too.
I thought that's interesting. I found that probably more probable too.
Yes. Now, what about also the idea that werewolves, their one common goal is to protect humanity? Did you hear that? They're taught and told to protect humans at all costs. Is what Nick said yesterday.
That's interesting.
I don't know. That's why I said I wanted a werewolf security team. Okay, I'm gonna get me one. I'm gonna get me one day. I'm gonna be space traveling, time traveling.
I'll tell you what. I'll take other people's credit for it. I'll take their word for it. I don't want to find out. I don't want to see some dog, the werewolf in the forest. Hey, are you here to help me? Are you here to protect me? Are you here to grub up on me? I don't want to find out.
I mean,
I'll take everybody else's word for it.
don't go looking for it. Just know they're out there protecting us. Okay. I mean, that's what Nick said. So, but that's right. Okay. It sounds like they don't protect all humans. Okay. Probably.
So they're like Thundercats, right? Thundercats on Third Earth. I got you. Werewolves. Okay.
Yeah, and dogmen on all fours, they do look like yeah. It's actually my computer just froze up again. It's actually hard to tell a dogman from a dog because a lot of times they're down on all fours, right? And so they're just gonna be running around looking like a gigantic wolf.
It's the type 2 that looks it's hard when it's all four, right? The two-legged ones or the type 2 ones. They're supposed to look more like the American Werewolf in London.
Yeah. Oh, I have a picture. Do you guys want to see it? Yeah, or aliens shape-shifting into dogmen. JD Smooth, that's a good question. I don't know. What do you think, Barry? Do you think that aliens are shape-shifting into dogmen? Maybe. It could.
I mean, it could be,
That's
but
a
not
good question,
especially.
right?
I kind of think dogmen are dogmen, and if you deal with the skinwalker, I think skinwalkers and werewolves are the same thing, kind of in my opinion. But the dogman, I think,
Yeah,
is
yeah, that's what.
separate.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it is our.
Okay,
A lot of those
here's a
reports
list.
never them being in humanoid form. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
type
Okay,
three.
here's our list of the
variation.
different types. Okay. Type 3, that's one that looks like the one from the movie Van Helsing or whatever that movie is. Okay. Yeah, I think this list is kind of changed, and it kind of it's changed a little bit because some of the guys with the Dogman projects are like the Gugway and the Genoskoa shouldn't be listed there and stuff, like the mutant Sasquatch type and things like that. So I don't know, y'all. I'm showing y'all what I got.
Everybody's tripping on the muzzle, right? That doesn't
Yeah,
matter
I
that
think
much.
so.
And you've got mandrills that have muzzles. You have baboons that have muzzles. And I think the truth is we've got so many different kinds of these things, and these just what that guy was talking about the other night, the different types of experiments. And we know that is going on, but that's not just now in 2023. Yes. That stuff's been going on for thousands of years. They've been producing these chimeras and these abominations. That's been going on here always. It's just a matter. It's just a matter
maybe millions
of
of years.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, definitely. I would say so. And now it's just a matter of what present techniques are they using?
That's right. Yeah, cloning and stuff like that too. That's a whole other show. And so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we did a great job on this target tonight, I think. And Barry, your voice is outstanding. Jorgen says your voice is great.
Maybe I should. Yeah. Maybe I should be in the Vader
you guys
suit.
Put in your earbuds.
Get another gig.
Put in your earbuds. Let Barry put y'all to sleep tonight. Okay.
Oh my God. I specialize that in lectures. Putting people to sleep.
Oh my God. Putting everybody to sleep.
I think though that things that we should come from this target with though is the different organization that's almost, you picked up a single one almost that's involved in this, what the modalities of contact is that they're using. Okay. I think it's very positive, and how much it's being overlooked actually. Like I said before, in this book alone, he's got 40 humanoid landing cases in schoolyards or within schools, and 56 that are just sightings. And some of them are pretty intense, like to the point of where like some janitor pulled one of these little crafts into his boiler room. It's a little thing that crashed. It sounded some type of AI. It sounded to me like a drone. Very interesting, but this is something that happened like back in the 60s, 70s. So interesting stuff like that I think just needs to get more notoriety.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And Aussie Sue, she said she and her son had seen a dogman like type 3 back in 1987. And she's in Australia. So there's dogmen all over the world, obviously. All over the world. Why do we have so many more sightings here and reports?
Was it hostile?
Yeah.
What she saw?
I don't know, Aussie Sue. Was it hostile? Or was it a bad experience? Or did you just kind of see it? Sue said that she just saw it. They just saw it, 1987. So yeah, write it in the comments if you want. So we'll know.
That's something about the dog.
So JD Smooth says Cherokee say that the Gugway are different dogmen. Yeah. They're just a different type of dogmen. And I've heard that before too, that the Gugway, werewolves and dogmen are just all the same. According to some traditions. Okay, they say that. But okay, let's see. Anything else today? Okay, comments. I'm trying. Okay, well, Barry, this has been amazing, and this has been a great show. Great target. I got 4 targets out of these 2. Okay, and we got pretty detailed on it. There's absolutely been these ETs have been coming here to warn us that something needs to change. There's something headed our way, and we need to take heed. And they're trying to relay that to the children. And it's terrifying, these kids. But
And
I mean, maybe it's because they're little,
There's like a dead zone too, like that TV series, The Dead Zone, where I think we can avert some of this disaster. That's what we're being given is that time.
Yeah.
We're being shown something coming here by several different beings. We're being showed a connection to a possibility to connect with this federation, become a part of the galactic thing that isn't slavery. You know what I mean? These are the other factions that are doing this right now. That organization. It's contrary to the one that are doing these horrible mutilations and slavery and practicing that, which is going on here too. So maybe that's something that might get abolished here if we can really raise the frequency. God, I hope so. The children need help here. You've got one faction here that are helping children, another that are attacking them and using them for the A word, or we'll go into that word, but whatever's going on there. Horrible.
Oh, my guest yesterday said it. It's okay. It's adrenalized blood. Okay. Yeah, it's really bad. And I get that with these cryptids too, and some of my data sometimes with these attacks. So, oh, I will be on Midwest Night Watchers on Sunday too. I see Jane in here with Chiro Sounds. Her husband, Gerald. I'm going to be on their show Sunday night. I think it's at 7 or 8 before my show on Sunday night. So you guys tune in over there to that. Barry, oh, here we go. Oh, Aussie replied. Let's see what Aussie's saying here. Aussie Sue. Let's see if I can get this up. It was chasing kangaroos. It stood in front of us on the road and growled, then disappeared. It was big. Even saw it drooling or drawing. I guess drooling. Oh my gosh. So that was an up close and personal account. Yeah. Chasing kangaroos. Man,
I bet you was that one kangaroo they call Hercules with those big old biceps on it. What if you give a dog man a fight?
A punch. I bet that would be a tough opponent though. Like that would be a hard fight for food that night if they're trying to eat them. Yeah, she said drooling.
I learned about the Australian yowie when I was both over there, talked to a few people, and then before that, and while I was over there, and it's interesting because technically they're much more similar to a North American Sasquatch, but they're much more territorial, is my understanding. Yeah, that's very interesting. Why the Yowies are so even more territorial than American Sasquatch, but they're the same type. I find that interesting.
Wow. It's very interesting. Super interesting. Yeah, I need to get somebody from Australia on my show. I have a couple of guys out there, and I'll hit them up. I need to bring them on. It's all a matter of the time difference. But hey, Sue's in here, so not everybody in Australia is asleep.
You know which one not to bring on.
I guess it's daytime over there. You what?
You know that. You know which one not to bring on.
Oh, I know, right? I won't say it. Listen, I won't.
Oh, no way.
Oh my gosh. You're so silly. You're hilarious. Okay, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. This has been a great show. And like I said in the beginning, if anyone would like to have full access to all of my remote viewing data, it's all on my Patreon. And I want to give a huge thank you to everybody that's a member of my Patreon. I super love you guys. Thank you for all your support. It means the world to me. And Barry, where can people find you to watch all of your amazing shows and videos?
I'm on YouTube and on Patreon. I need to do more on Patreon. I'm actually fell off and it's hard to make my videos, but I'm on YouTube quite a bit. Also on Facebook. On YouTube, it's just under Barry Littleton. Help me beat that algorithm that's got me shadow banned. Subscribe and share the videos if you could. Please go to the playlist. There's about 320 videos on there. So they're all fairly short, but they're informative a little bit.
Amazing. They're awesome. They're the best videos ever. And they correlate to a lot of these shows that we do. And so Barry and I try to kind of coordinate the shows with our, the videos that he does with some of the shows, and he gives me some of the targets are based off of some of the videos that he's already done. Okay. Which is really cool. So I can appreciate that. And I want to thank all my moderators too.
Oh, no, I'll say something. I'll do one afterwards.
Yeah.
About this like I'll do one about this too. You know, this is an interesting one. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Barry. Totally. Yeah. Area 51 says there's no such thing as shadow ban when we are all together shining our light. There's no room for shadows, ban shadows. I don't know where I was going with that. No shadows. We're all shining our light up here. So you guys shine your light. I'm gonna shine mine. Ain't nobody putting our lights out, y'all. Okay. And yeah, I want everybody to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Barry, I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you. You too. Thank you to the audience too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure.
Y'all,
it was a pleasure. It's really a great target. You did a great job. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, y'all join me this weekend on Space Out Radio. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, live and direct. You guys have a great night. Barry, have a great night. Thank you so much for being my friend.
My pleasure.
You're my favorite.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
And God bless everyone.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a great night. See you later.